Lord, all these other guys, they may go away from you. They may turn tide and run, but me, I'll go with you wherever you go. Even if you are to die, I will go with you through death. Now, the number one reason for walking away from the maintenance fellowship with the Lord Jesus Christ is your overconfidence. Number one, overconfidence. Sometimes we think we've got it made. There is nothing that can draw us away from the fellowship of God. But you let something negative come in our life, and we will be just like the Apostle Peter. We will turn and we will run. We see people every day who have fallen away. And we say to God, we'll never do that. There'll never be a time in which I will fall away from you. And when you make that kind of a statement, let me warn you, first and foremost, you are setting yourself up for a failure. Because every one of us in this room today, given the right circumstance, will in ourselves perhaps walk away from God. Now, you heard me say perhaps. It is built in us to be just like the Apostle Peter. It's built in us to say, Lord, never. If I were to take a poll in this room today, you would say, no, Lord, never would I ever be able to walk away. Others may do that, but I won't. Well, let me tell you why this is a reason that people walk away. Sometimes our heart is very deceitful. It will lie to us. It will tell us certain things, and we know good and well we can't do them. The heart will lie, and the moment you say to yourself, I will never fall away, there'll never be a time in my life when I will stop going to church, or there'll never be a time in my life when my fellowship with Him is not maintained. The Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12, let him who standeth take heed lest he fall. Important. Let him who standeth take heed lest he fall. And again I say to you, there's not a one of us here who under certain circumstances, given our own fleshly nature, would say, I will never forget you, Lord, but we will walk away. You know what the word ego is? Ego, in your terminology of ego, means that you have an ego that says, I can do it all. I am the strongest Christian that ever walked. In a transliteration of that word, in a language that I can spell it out for you, the word ego is E-G-O. That's how you spell it. What it means is there are times in our life when we will edge God out. That is ego. And that's what it does. Ego causes us to edge God out. So the very first reason that we give for walking away from God is an overconfidence. The second reason is laziness. Laziness. It ought to be, if you remember back a few weeks ago, I started talking about the warning signals in our life. They begin to flash, and we look at them, and it tells us that something is wrong in our life. And perhaps when we get tired and we get very weary, the warning light goes off, and we're not as close to the Lord as we once were. Something in our life needs to be fixed. It may be that we're not praying as much as we used to pray. It may be that we're not giving as much as we used to give. And we're setting ourselves up for a major temptation when our body is very weak. When Jesus had been at the place where Satan was trying to tempt him. It had been 40 days without any food and substance in his life, and he was tired and he was weary. And Satan came to him and he says, you see those loaves of bread, if you'll just take one of them and rocks, take one of them and turn it into a loaf of bread, and it will all be good for you.